Good morning. Having my coffee this morning, thinking of the world. I'm just a little woman, well, little big woman in America, and I always have a lot to say. I don't know exactly ever how to, or who to say it to, I guess. I wear my husband's ear out all the time on issues, but I'm not any kind of anything really. I'm just a housewife and a brown person, but it hurts my heart to see so much hell going on in this hell world that we live in. I mean, okay, I guess we should be experiencing hell. I don't know. I've studied so much stuff about the Anunnaki and aliens and the Bible and Islam, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, everything. I've studied so much stuff. And you name it. If I find it interesting, then I want to know more. You know, heck, I'm even trying to learn how to write Mandarin and speak it and all that, just in case, you know. But let me tilt this down so it's more even. Yes, welcome to my crafting corner in my room. I craft journals and I write a lot, and my main goal for my journaling is just to be remembered. You know, I'm hoping that my books, and there are many, that, you know, they can be passed down through the family and people can know where they came from. And I think that's probably part of the problems that we're having in America right now. That, and just people having way too much time on their hands. Honestly, really. I mean, I know my opinion is probably like the worst opinion that leftists or the LGBTQ plus community would care to know. And I don't hate them. I don't. I understand that they are going through something, and you know, they want their rights just like everyone else. Well, okay. We're in America. We should have freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, the freedom to vote, the freedom to drink, the freedom to whatever, you know. We should be able to be who we are, sure. Okay. I don't think it's healthy for the minds of our youth. I think they are confused a lot of the time as to what they're feeling inside, and they don't have their dark side wild beast under control, because honestly, I mean, we all have a dark side, right? Yeah, some of us look more innocent than others, and sometimes the more innocent someone looks, the more evil they are. I tell my kids all the time, beware of smiling faces. Yeah. I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to help anybody, but I'm tired of just watching and not doing anything. I'm too old to go out there and protest. I can't walk very well. My knee, my hip, everything just goes out of joint sometimes. Yeah, I am exercising. Those of you who are wondering, I do exercise, but I have some kind of issue. And doctors can't figure it out. They just point the finger at me and say, no, you're just eating too much. No, that's not it. I don't. I eat about 1,200 calories a day. I watch my calories. And I do my exercises the best I can. So, everybody can just go suck an elf. I got that from the 10th Kingdom. Remember that? Remember that movie? Oh, it's a movie series. It's a lot of fun. I love it when they talk about, they get mad and they go, oh, go suck an elf. I love that. I use that all the time. I tried to use SpongeBob's Barnacles thing when I was cussing. That didn't work out too well, but I try. I try to find words that are not as offensive as our regular cuss words can be, especially when spoken in anger and frustration. But anyway, I digress. And I will digress a lot. I will try to keep this as short as I can. Let me see, how many minutes has it been? Does it even say? Oh yeah, up there, 5 minutes, 22 seconds. Okay, I'll try to keep this short. And y'all can come here every day. I'm going to try to be here. I mean, not every day. I haven't decided which days, but you can look me up. You know, you see where I am. I have my coffee. This coffee cup. Oh, looks like the writing is backwards. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that again. There's a way, like if your writing is backwards on your computer when you're videotaping, that you can switch it around. So I'm going to have to do that. I'll figure that out again. I forgot how to do it. But teaching is a work of art, of heart. I like that. I don't know if I'm the greatest teacher, but you know, the universe did give me a mouth, and I guess maybe perchance it's time to start using it in the way that it should be used. I don't know. And I'm just guessing here because nobody has all the answers. I promise you. No one. I don't care who they are. Preacher, teacher, politician, mayor, your best friend next door. If they tell you they have all the answers and they know all the truth and they know exactly what they're talking about, they're full of poo-poos. Nobody knows exactly what they're talking about. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they have a associate's degree or master's or bachelor's. Nobody knows everything. Especially the reason that we're here. We just have to do the best we can. I'm telling you, my friends. You know, and any children that are listening, I will try to keep this as PG as I possibly can. Let me tell you, our children are precious. I have 4. And, you know, one's very grown up, and I have 2 more that are just becoming adults. One that has already become one, yeah. 2 adult children, one that's just about to become an adult, and another that's about 4 years behind becoming an adult. Boy, he's raring to go, too. He wants to be an adult already. Jump right in, pay those bills, la la la, you know. But our children are precious, people. And if we don't teach them, somebody else is gonna. I mean, I think the public school system is rotten, honestly. Especially with all the little moles that are running around in there, whispering in people's ears, great perversions. And I know that's what's happened. You know, they have these agendas. These monstrous, I guess you can call them people, have these agendas. They're running around and putting moles in schools and, you know, telling them do this, do that. They're just ruining our children. Ruining them. School in the first place. I've always loved it. And when I was younger, you know, I'm 54 now. When I was a mother at 20, I bought into everything. Everything I was told about politics, America, the school system, back then Christianity, etc., etc., etc. Bought into it all. I believed it. Let freedom reign. I do believe in freedom. That has not changed. I did believe in capitalism, and I do. I still do. But I also think that it's a flawed system. But going back to the school system, let's talk about that, because we are full of systems. Okay? From the day we are born and all through life, we are put into systems, put into boxes, if you will, put into lines, if you will. Do you notice that you spend your whole life in line for something from the day you're born? Yeah, in a line. Next! Right. So, back to the school system. Not every human being on earth is the same learning-wise. And not all of us are meant to be mathematicians, scientists, lawyers, doctors. Those are great endeavors, sure. I tried to become a lawyer. That was so boring. Now, because of all this stuff going on, I wish I had stuck it out, because I would understand more, you know. But I'm more of an artist, and I'm more of a philosopher. I'm a deep thinker. I spend a lot of time in my mind. But I think school should be restructured a little differently. I think tests and stuff, I mean, my mother still believes in tests, and that's fine, but I don't think that they should be. I think if a teacher's really teaching a child and they get down there with the child on the table with the instructions, and the child is able to nail the math down, that child knows it. Period. Done. They know it. They understand how the operation works. They understand how to calculate, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Algebra even, if you want to go that far. Calculus even, if you want to go that far. But why put the stress on a human being to sit there for hours and hours and hours with all these tests? They know the calculation. If they know the calculations and how to do these things, then if they make a mistake when they go back and recalculate, then they will know they made a mistake because they know the material. Science, that's different. I mean, we know one thing one century, and then it changes the next century, and changes the next century. I mean, look at the century we're in. People are confused at what a woman is. You can't really rely completely on science. There are some things that are always going to be. The laws of nature are always going to be there. And that includes the laws of biology, my friends. A woman is going to be a woman, no matter what she does to her body. Hold on a second. Okay, that was my little boy, and he was giving me an old journal of his to add to my collections and stuff, to keep the history. This is from 2018. So I'm like, yeah, thank you. I've decided my little boy, he's the best one to leave my journals to. I think that he will cherish them and take care of them, and they will move down through my family line. And this is a new one I made. And this is actually my art. I made an art poster, and I decided to use the poster, the art, for the cover of this particular journal. Let's see. It opens up like this. And there's, I make everything in the journal other than maybe the stickers and different things I find. This right here I found from Kroger's circular. It's just flowers, And then I hand painted I'm still not done with it, but there's still some stuff in here, the dry flowers, things like that. And I'm planning on giving these away as Christmas gifts. Starting a website maybe to. And this is not the only style. I have different styles, but anyway, just so you know. Just for, I guess, part of the conversation, we're talking about school, right? And which kid now comes to visit?
Your phone.
Oh, my phone. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem.
Okay. So, actually, let me turn this off so we don't get interrupted, at least by the phone, right? Alright. So yeah, I think that the school system, all our systems are broken right now because of look at the mess. Look at the mess that's in America right now. The school system, I think, should work more like, help the children learn the topic, and the teachers with them, they know the topic, they understand the math, they understand the spelling, they understand the language arts, they understand the reading comprehension, they understand the biology, they understand everything that you're teaching them. And they've learned. And there's not all this stress. They're actually enjoying learning. Children love to learn. And the more you give them younger, the more astute they'll be at everything that you teach them. Why stress them with all this testing and stuff? There's no need. That's cookie cutter stuff. Not everybody's great at tests. My gosh, when I was in community college trying to get my associate's degree, I was always so stressed out whenever there was a test. I would have to, I'm a little heavier now, but then I was a little bit lighter, and I was trying to run to class to get all that adrenaline, that nervous adrenaline out of my body so that I could take the test and try to get it out of my mind, because I was so stressed. And I just think that would work better that way. Why stress kids out like that? And not only that, there's something else that we could do better as a people. And I'm talking to all people. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what you identify as. Like, there's some people that identify as tigers and alligators and stuff. And I'm like, or vampires. I'm like, okay, this, honestly, I mean, we need to get checked out. There's something going on up here. We need to develop a culture, a human culture, that is celebratory of our children. Because we know all of us are going to get old. You know, all of us are going to get old, and we need competent people. We need them. We need people in the nursing industry. We need people that know how to make things, shoes and clothes, and know how to farm and take care of animals, and know how to grow things. We need these people. We don't need to depend on a government to do it all for us, and then for us to be like, may I please have some more bread? No, we have 5 people in my family. I really need more bread. No, 1 loaf of bread a month. That's all you get. There. You know, no, we don't need that. We don't. I mean, I think you might think you do, because all of us have become so lazy. Me included. I've got the laziest family in the whole world, let me tell you. It makes me crazy. I'm a Virgo, and I don't like laziness. But I've had to adapt because I've become older, and it's harder to do stuff, though I'm trying to fix it. I want to become one of them sexy old ladies, you know, that is all jacked and everything and can still do stuff. And like my friend Aline, bless her heart, I tell you, she's wonderful. When she was 9 months pregnant, she could lift a couch. This is what she told me. She lift a couch and vacuum under it. I was so weak when I was pregnant all the time. Many miscarriages. But you know, we take a child to school, and they start showing their interests quite early. I showed my interest in art and crafting very early. And then as school went on and life went on, you know, I showed interest in dance. I was a ballerina, believe it or not, I really was. And a jazz dancer, jazz hands. Tap dancer, yep, was. Loved Gregory Hines. Ballerina, yeah. Loved Mikhail Baryshnikov. Yeah. Yes, I did. Loved them all, you know. And I was an 80s teenager, so, I mean, Ralph Macchio, Scott Baio, loved him. Had posters all over my wall. Loved it. It was great. 80s were great. Loved it. So much more freedom. You know, freedom to make a lot of mistakes. Kids made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I was a wild child. You know, came from a dysfunctional family, just to say the least. It really was. But I think most families, now that I'm, 54 and I've really observed and watched and paid attention, most of us come from dysfunctional families. Why is that? Why is that? That's the problem. That is part of the problem. Now, I don't want to be a radical person. I really don't. I was a radical Christian, I think. Yeah, maybe not as radical as some of these people, like the Army of God and stuff that I've heard them do stuff, burn down abortion clinics. I think they were called the Army of God, weren't they? I don't remember. I could be wrong, and I'm wrong about a lot of things many times, so let's just put that out there. I am not right about everything. But I think that I've gained some knowledge about things, and I have somewhat a lot of logic and common sense about things. Like I said, I don't know it all, but what I do know, I just want to share. And I love people, but I don't love the things that people do. Okay, backtrack. I love people, but I don't love some of the things that some people do. And that is smart. Because there's a lot of people that seem great, but are not. And then there's a lot of people that first glance you think, oh my God, they must be a scary monster. But then you get to know them, and they're not. So how do you tell? How do you tell the difference? I have put myself in a lot of solitary in my life. because of many people that did a lot of bad things to me. And so my response to that is to, create my own little world and try to stay out of people's business and not let them into my business, and have my own little comfort zone and my own barriers that you cannot cross. And when I started doing that about 15 years ago, something like that, I didn't realize that I was going to completely hermitize myself. Become a hermit. You know what a hermit is? I don't know if you know what a hermit is. It's someone that lives in solitude. And that's what happened. And I don't have a lot of very close friends like I used to. When you're like in deep in a cult, and I know that if you're in a religion, you don't think it's a cult, but let me tell you, they are all cults. And I know I'm going to get some flack for that, but I'm telling you the truth. I mean, that's the truth. They're all cults. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that's what they are. And I didn't know that. But when I was in one, a Christian cult, you learn to think like them, walk like them, be like them, read like them, make choices like them, everything. That's a cult. Yes, it's a cult. So let's get real. Time to get real, my friends. Time to get real about where you live, what you live in. I don't like it either. I don't like to find out that most of the stuff that I've ever enjoyed or believed in was just an absolute propagandic lie or a manipulation, like commercials, toys, and stuff. Being a kid, you get that toy home and you're like, wow, it's just not as exciting as the commercial. Right? Well, first lies. That's the first thing I discovered that was a lie. Well, Dollar Tree, they got all these toys and the kids look at them and they're all colorful and everything. They get them home and they start trying to play with them and they break. Like a little bow and arrow, bing! And I would always tell my son, don't get that, it's going to break. It won't this time, bing! It breaks. I've wasted hundreds of dollars on Dollar Tree toys because my son and my daughters could not live without them, and they break. So I started showing them the things that don't break. The dolls, the stuffed animals, the balls, the Legos, those are already broken, you just can put them together, And if they were smart, they would listen to me, and if they were not, they wouldn't, and they'd get the bow and arrow again, and it would break. And whatever. So, school system broken, told you. If we could change that up and make it more fun for kids to go to school and actually learn things instead of being pressured into taking tests and being measured, and being either glorified, victimized, punished for not understanding and stuff. I mean, why do we need that? No. Make it more fun. Make learning fun. Put our children as a first priority. Put teachers in there that are not going to scramble their heads. Put teachers in there that are not groomers. Do you know what a groomer is? It's a pedophilic term. But a groomer can be a pedophile, yes. And they want to groom a child to want to have sex with them, yes. Or a groomer can be somebody with a very strong opinion about a certain perverse topic and groom the child to think that this perverse topic is a wonderful thing. We have a lot of groomers in our schools right now. Especially in the leftist democratic states, there's a lot of groomers. And don't think there's moles. They're not moles. There are moles in there. Moles from people in politics with agendas. I know there are. And they're grooming our children to think certain ways. I mean, who decided that we needed schools anyway? It was during the industrial age, right? Because why? Why were the schools created? Think about that. Have you ever thought about it? They were created because they wanted to teach people how to be industrial workers. You get up early in the morning. You go to work. Bah, you hear a bell, you do something else. Bah, you hear a bell, you go to break. Bah, you go back home. Bah. That's what school is for. It's to teach you how to be a good worker bee. Shouldn't be that. School should be a place of higher learning. Teaching the things that maybe their parents don't know. And then moms and dads should be able to teach their children the rest about life. Talk to your kids. I mean, I talk to my kids all the time because I don't want them to make the same mistakes I made. I want them to try to avoid some of the hurdles in life, some of the obstacles, some of the knives, some of the needles, some of the venom, some of the mountains, and go around them. Don't try to climb that mountain. Now look, I'm not saying challenges are bad. I'm just saying some things are. It's good to challenge yourself, Challenge yourself and make a great piece of art. Like one of my challenges is learning how to make murals. I haven't gotten to mural level yet, but I'm getting bigger and bigger paintings. And I'm excited because I want to make a mural someday. It's my challenge. Another one of my challenges is I want to be a great crafter that can actually make money crafting so that I don't have to work outside the home. I'm not working outside the home yet, but my car went down. A lot of problems. So we finally have the money for me to get a car, and I'm going to try to make sure I get the best car that I can so that maybe I can have it longer than 2 years. I can't afford a brand new car. I can't. It's just too expensive. It's too much. Let's face it, most of us, when we buy even a used car, we're making a huge sacrifice. Because that's money that can be spent on groceries. But we need to begin to make our children a priority again. Maybe I'm not the best person to talk about raising children. Okay, I messed up a lot in my 20s raising my first one. I thought I did a great job. I really did, because I really invested a lot of time and energy into him and gave him all the love I possibly could. And I wanted so bad to be a better parent than, mine. And that's just the truth, honest truth. But because broken families create broken families, and hurt people, didn't turn out the way I wanted. It took me a long time to get smarter, so I was still making a lot of, mistakes. And he never complained. He was a great kid. And he's still alive. He's a great man now. But sadly, I somehow messed up. But these three, I'm trying to do better. That's all you can do, my friends. I mean, if you have a child that's disowned you, believe me, I know your pain. I know it so much. I've cried, I've begged, I've pleaded. None of it did any good, and it won't. Once you mess up, sometimes it's a mess up for life, And I couldn't tell you exactly where I went wrong. I'm sure he could. I've analyzed it, but it did go wrong. So you see, I'm not perfect. But I try, and I think that's half the battle with anybody. You want to be a parent? Try your best to be a good parent. I try my best to be a good parent. I still make mistakes, and I still go back now. I mean, when I realize I made a mistake, I go back now and I tell them, hey, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I love you. I'm sorry. If you don't see things, I'm sorry I don't see things your way. But I am a human being, as you are a human being, and you have your own opinion. I have my opinion. That's all we can do, honeys. We can just do the best we can do. And I'm so sorry for all of y'all that are hurting because an adult child has left you behind, called you names, wished you were dead, all kinds of terrible verbiage, towards you when you're just begging them, just please don't stop loving me. I feel your pain. It took me, it ruined me for quite a while, and I got very, very sick because I missed him so much. And it took me 3 years to finally get my mind where I could somewhat function again and get back to, really being involved in my life that I've created for myself now, And it's a little hot in here. We try not to use our ACs because even without using our ACs or our heaters, our bill is still $250 and up. And that's just, too much for a family of 5 with only one main breadwinner right now, So hopefully when I get my vehicle, I can start bringing in, second income. So yeah, school system has a lot of problems, and children are precious. We need to start looking at our children as beautiful gifts from the universe and not parasites, as I've heard some women say about their unexpected pregnancies. Abortion, my darlings, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. If you don't know what abortion is, they rip out the life out of your temple. I know that there are extenuating circumstances, yes. I know that men do bad things to little girls sometimes, and those men should be hung for their treachery. They should. And that little girl deserves not to be pregnant, because for one thing, her body's not ready for it. We know women, pregnancy tears our body apart. I heard or read somewhere that it's like 22 broken bones all at once giving birth. I had all cesarean, and that's no cup of tea either, because at least if you have one natural, the pain is gone after you've had them. Not with cesarean. They cut you, remove the baby, and then you have to go through a couple months of healing while you're still trying to take care of your baby, and you're still hurting with the cut, Not fun to admit, but years ago, I did have an abortion. And it ruined my mind, because I didn't want to have one. But I was coerced into it. And I did. And like I said, it ruined my mind. So I was young, 22, something like that. When you get old, the years run together and you're like trying to remember what stuff happened what year. So bear with me. I may not be telling the truth. It might have been 23. I'm not sure. I can't remember exact year. But I do remember the pain it caused me and how horrific it was, and the process, and how they kept lying to me. I kept asking, is it a baby? And they kept saying, no. Can I see the monitor? No, you cannot watch the monitor. I said, I just want to see. No, you cannot see. I'm a very spiritual person and a very empathic person. That's another reason I try to stay away from people, because I tend to feel everything that they feel. And I care deeply, so it's hard to be around a lot of emotional people, because I'm a very emotional person and I feel for people deeply. But when that happened, I really felt like I heard the child scream. And then when I found out how they performed the procedure, it ruined my mind. And I was, over 10 weeks along, and didn't know at the time, was very ignorant, that I didn't know at the time that the child already had a heartbeat. I heard the child scream. Abortion is evil, my friends. It's evil. You're taking a precious life away, scraping it, cutting it up out of your temple, and throwing it away like it's garbage. But yet, the conspiracy theory is they don't throw it away. They use it in biological, scientific experiments. That also made me cry. To think I doomed my child and reduced them to nothing but an experiment. It hurt my heart. It wrecked me. And here I was, a young mother already, trying to raise my first child, but my mind and my heart and my temple were wrecked because I chose to listen to the person, I'm not going to say who it is, listen to the person who coerced me, who manipulated me into agreeing to it. And it's my fault because I did agree to it, out of my own ignorance, out of my own naivete. And at the time, there wasn't internet, So I relied on everyone around me who were older or more savvy or with degrees, or had more power, influence, blah, 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 to tell me the truth about what was what. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm nothing special. I'm just a woman who's been through a lot. I've done a lot of good, and I've done a lot of bad. And I regret all my bad. And I've always learned from it. Sometimes it took me having to go through it over and over and over again to finally learn from it, but I did eventually learn from it. So I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking about having an abortion, and you haven't been raped, you've just been messing around, and you got pregnant, really, honey, the better option, my dear one, is to learn how to be a mom if you don't know what being a mom is. Decide, do you really want to be a mom, or can you maybe give up your child to an adoption agency that can find them a better life than maybe you can give them? In retrospect, in my situation, maybe I should have done that. I don't know. We make the mistakes we make, and we have to live with it. We have to live with it. It took a couple years before somebody understood what was going on with me and sat me down and talked to me about it and helped me come to grips with what I had done, and then helped me learn how to cope with it. It's not perfect. I'm 54, and that happened in my early 20s, and I still cry over that baby. And honestly, it's hard for me to hear women that say they've had 6 or 8 abortions, and I've met them, and they use it as a birth control mechanism. It's hard for me to hear, because one day they may decide they want children, and now because they've had so many of those abortions, they've become sterile. Is that possible? I don't know. I mean, that's something I would worry about. It took me a long time to actually have another child. I mean, there's 16 years difference between my first child and my second child. And I thought, in my spiritual self, I was like, I'm being punished for ripping that other child out of my temple, So that's another point right there. We need to celebrate our children. It shouldn't be a curse when your child gets pregnant, and especially if they're already an adult. I mean, I was already an adult when I got pregnant, but I was chastised and abused verbally and all the stuff when I was pregnant for the first time. And I was already told before that, when I was 15, that it was going to be hit or miss for me, that I was either going to be fertile or totally sterile. So when I got pregnant, I thought, what a blessing, I actually can have children. So I was going to have this child. But I was, already an adult. I should not have been treated the way that I was treated during the pregnancy, but I was. So what do? It's in their ignorance. If you don't have normal adults with stable brains and a good understanding of human relationships around you, then you're going to get a lot of dysfunction yelling at you. And that's what I received. I'm not blaming them. My gosh, most of my lineage have had horrible, horrible lives with the family they had. And they're my family. And it's hard for me to believe. I'm like, wow, Grandpa so-and-so was like that. Grandma so-and-so was like that. Wow. And the children turned out like, wow, that's my family lineage. A lot of perversion, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of violence, a lot of chemical abuse. Yes. Sad. But I don't want that for my lineage. And I've tried very hard. Very hard. Even with my first son, I tried very hard to be a good mother for him. Very hard. I tried so hard. And I know you women, y'all have tried hard. You have. You've tried hard. You don't deserve this. After all that you've done for your kids, you don't deserve to be abandoned. I didn't deserve it. But I was. And that's something I have to live with, But I guarantee you, as a young mom that didn't know anything, you did the best you could. You did the best you could with what you did know. And then you had to learn the rest. And this is how we damage our kids. It really is. So school, again with that topic, it should be about teaching our kids how to be stable, good parents. How to take care of a child properly. How to educate a child. What you should and shouldn't do with your child. People need to be more educated about becoming a parent. And what it means to be pregnant. Everything. Not just the biological way somebody gets pregnant. I'm talking about all the sticky, dirty grossness that comes with being pregnant. And all the joy and happiness that comes with being pregnant as well. It shouldn't just be one way. We need to teach our men and our women in school how to be good mommies and daddies so that the next generation can be better. And then all these guys and some females now are getting just as depraved that do these horrible things to children and mess up their minds, and they survive it, and they have to become adults and try to do adult things. Those people that did that to them, they're criminals. We need to get rid of them. You just killed a child's brain, and now they have to try to walk through life and be a good adult. That's not easy for someone with that much trauma. So these people need severe punishment. They murdered. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, and not a lot of people will be like, oh no, that's inhumane. I say get rid of them. Why? I mean, through the justice system, yes. I'm not saying take it into your own hands. I'm not saying that. I'm saying through the justice system, we need to make laws and make it harder on these sex offenders. They need to lose their lives. Why are we putting them back on the streets? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I've wondered. They'll just do the same thing again. It's a temptation. It is a mental illness, maybe. It's a natural tendency for them. They're going to do it again. And if they don't do it again, they're going to live in misery because they can't. Who knows? But the thing is, they need a harsh punishment, and we need them out of our plane of existence so that we can get about the business of raising our children and making them good adults. We need more good adults. We need more savvy adults. So we need to change our mind about what we think about bringing a child into this world. We need to stop slaughtering our babies. We need to stop it, or we're going to lose population. We already are every year. Did you not know that? I've watched several documentaries on it. several videos on it. I have searched every which way I could because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, but it's true. Every major country in the world is losing population by 10 to 12% per year because people are they're not having babies. What is the right way to say this? They're not having children as much as they should be. We need you. We need you babies because we get old, we're going to need people to take care of us. And the old have a hard time taking care of themselves. So can you imagine old people trying to take care of old people? You know, sometimes old people will fall down. If all you have is old people to pick up an old person off the floor, that's going to take about 4 or 5 old people. I know, I worked in a nursing home for 4 months. It is not my calling. Not my calling at all. And I came home crying every day because of what I saw of all the Alzheimer's and dementia and disabled people and what they went through in nursing homes. I will not put my mother in a nursing home if I can help it. If I can help it. I hope I don't ever have to, because I will want to be up there every day to see what's going on. But, you know, we need to think better about our children. They are gifts. They're not parasites. Humans are not parasites, my dears. I'm going to quote somebody, but I can't remember his name. He knows who he is. He said, humans are not parasites. They're producers. And problem solvers. Producers and problem solvers. And babies are precious. Well, I've kept you almost an hour. 47 minutes. I love human beings. I do. And I think the human race has a lot to offer. We just need to get our minds straight. So I guess this topic was about our broken school system, pretty much, and how precious our children are. And I have a lot of other stuff to say, so y'all can have coffee with me, when I get up. Sometimes I'm up early, sometimes I'm up late. Like right now it's 2:21 p.m. March 17th. Oh my goodness, I got up around 12. I mean, what else am I going to do? I don't have a job to go to right now, but I will, hopefully. I'm looking for a vehicle. If anybody has a decent Toyota for $1,000 and it runs good, I'll take it. So I don't have to make payments. But I don't know, leave me a message, and if you're willing to bring it to me, because if you're too far away, I ain't gonna come get it. I don't have a car. But I'm working on that. Alright, well, I will see you later. I don't know exactly what else I'm going to be doing today. Probably working on my crafting, making some journals and stuff. Been thinking about a painting. I'm not sure how big it's going to be, but thinking about making another painting. Haven't painted in a while. Been crafting a lot. But if anything I said makes sense to you, let me know. Put it in the comments, whatever. If you don't like what I said, I really don't want to hear from you. Just the truth, honestly. I'm not going to argue. If you're looking for a fight, I'm not going to argue with you. Just not. And I'm too old, honey. I don't have time for that. But if you agree and you want to hang out, be friends, just listen, comment back. I'll try to answer back. Try to be a voice of reason. Try to help where I can. Let me tell you something. You mamas, when I was younger, I didn't know how hard it was going to be a mama. You mamas are amazing. And men, they don't, a lot of men, not all men, but a lot of men don't understand how much we go through to make a happy home. Just to make a happy home. Happy kids, happy husband. One thing I didn't get was how to take care of myself more. My needs, my pampering. Because I always care about everybody else. And, your kids need so much and your husband expects so much. He doesn't realize it. He thinks, I'll wash my own clothes and I'll take care of my side of the bed and, I'll do my dishes. They don't get it. It's not about just it's about the whole family unit. But that's a whole other topic, right? I can sit here and talk about that hours. I gotta be careful when I get onto that subject. Over here folding paper. I like to make paper beads too. They're fun. I'm not an expert at it yet, but I'm trying. I watch a lot of crafting videos and a lot of politics, and I really got to stop doing that because it makes me depressed. Especially this administration. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. I can talk for hours on that too. And I don't want to get in any trouble either. I don't. I just want to, I want to make quiet waves. Quiet, logical, peaceful waves, you know? And just love you. And if you don't know what love is, that could be a whole other topic, right? Yeah. Love. I've learned a lot about what that is and what that isn't. You know. So that may be another subject. But boy, if we could get a hold of our school system and revamp the whole thing and make it to where we're actually helping our children and not judging, criticizing, and making them fit into these little, cookie cutter boxes. So you have to be this way, you have to be that way. I think that would be more productive for society. And we could actually, get kids on a track to a career instead of making a lot of kids that end up just working restaurants as adults. And they never get anywhere. We need to bring back the skill set, the interns, whether you go, you want to be a blacksmith, go learn from a blacksmith. You want to be a computer programmer, go learn from a computer programmer. You want to be a nurse, go work in the hospital. Instead of these colleges and stuff. Decide, we figure out what they're going to be, and we put them in those companies and places that are already doing it to learn and then become that. Because then we really have the American dream that you can be whatever you want to be instead of you have to spend $100,000 to go to college and take all these nonsense courses before you can be what you want to be, and then the market is just totally flooded and you can't even find a job. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. Blessings, love, light. Find your way. Oh, crap. Oh, no, it's okay. I was talking to the air and it wasn't recording, but I think it is. Oh, I see it is. Yeah, okay. All right, see? There you go. All right. Well, you have a blessed day. And if you're interested in anything that I'm going to be talking about, come back. And, I'd like to bend your ears some more because, we really need people that care about people. Yeah. Be love and care. Care. Start caring. Care about yourself and care about others. All right, dears. I'll see you, I don't know, tomorrow, next day. I haven't nailed down any days yet. I just really felt like I needed to put myself out there and try to help. I don't know what else I can do. This is all I have. That's all I have to give. It's just my points of view. And if it helps you, I'm glad. Please let me know. Have a great day.